Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am officially back after a couple weeks of hiatus. Just finished my first half marathon ever and it was a blast. You can check it out over here in this video right there. Today I'll be reviewing one of the best max cushion shoes on the market, and that is the Brooks Glycerin Max, aka the Glizzy Max. Before we start, let me get to some of my disclaimers. I will admit I was gifted these shoes, but not by Brooks, but rather by my lovely wife for Christmas. So I can give you my honest opinions and reviews for these shoes. My second disclaimer, as with any other shoe reviews on this channel, I approach my shoe reviews from a perspective of a beginner, slow, and heavy runner, because that's exactly what I am. There are a couple of shoe reviews on my channel where my findings were much more different than the more experienced runners and their reviews. So stay tuned to see if I agree with them saying that this is the best max cushion shoes on the market. Let's get into the review, beginning with the specs. Alright, let's start off the specs with the upper and move our way down. The Glizzy Max has an engineered mesh upper, which is very wide and thick. I will note that the upper does tend to get a little warm during the warmer months, but it isn't too bothersome to where I had to switch out from the shoe during my long runs. The tongue is not gusseted, but it's extremely padded and feels absolutely amazing. Toe box is spacious and wide. They don't offer any wide options for these shoes, but these fit me just fine after I went half a size up based on the recommendations from the website. The laces are the thickest I've ever seen compared to my other shoes, but they are really good in locking my feet down. I didn't experience any kind of heel slippage, nor did I have to rely on a runner's knot for a good lockdown. The upper is very much a win in my eyes here. Now moving down to the midsole, we have another win. The Glizzy Max has a DNA-tuned midsole, which is a type of midsole that Brooks completely knocked out of the park in my opinion. It's very plush, but it's not super compressive like the midsoles you'll find on the New Balance More V4 or 5 or the Asics Glycerine Max. I prefer this type of midsole compared to some of the more soft, more cushiony midsoles because it leads to a lot of instability for heavy runners like myself because there's just so much movement when we run. This is the type of foam where there is compression, but your feet don't sink into the shoe. So that's why, in my opinion, it's perfect. Now, granted, you won't get that pill-like plushy feel that some of the other shoes will do, but I think those kind of shoes actually work against us and our running form. Also, the DNA-tuned midsole does provide a little bit of bounce, not as quite as much as the Super Blast 2 or the Nova Blast 5, but it's enough where you can get comfortable if you have to get into some quick tempo paces during your long runs. The heel is very wide and provides excellent stability when running outdoors. Moving on to the stack height, these are 47 millimeters in the heel and 41 millimeters in the forefoot for a 6 millimeter drop, which in my opinion is a perfect drop where it doesn't get overly aggressive and also not too flat. Finally, moving down to the outsole, we have the last bit of good news. I haven't had too much experience with Brooks shoes in the past, but from what I've read and researched, they are very good about their grip. And the outsole in this is excellent and very grippy. I had no issues at all running in outside weather conditions, whether it's dry or wet, it was perfect. The last thing I will mention while we are here on the outsole is the aggressive glide ride rocker. When you do add the bounce from the midsole and the rocker, you do feel comfortable picking up the pace if needed. I'm not saying by any means that this is a speed shoe, but it's there if you really want to get into some marathon pace during your interval runs, or when you're just going off easy and you want to end in a faster note. These can definitely help pick up the pace if needed. Last couple of things for the specs, and I'm sure you can tell just by looking at it, this shoe is a chonker. It weighs in at 360 grams on the left foot and 357 grams on the right for my men's size 12 USA. Definitely the heaviest shoe on my rotation compared to its rivals that I have. So the Super Blast 2 is at 300 grams on the right foot, and then the Prime X2 Strung with its dual carbon fiber plates still come in lower than this at 344 grams on the right. And finally, the price for these, it's $200 US, and I will put the price for the other regions right here, pre-tariffs. Finally, with the specs out of the way, what is it actually like running in these shoes? To keep it simple, I am a very big fan of them when it comes to the easy pace and the occasional long runs where I'm prioritizing comfort over everything else. The shoes I've tried in the past were the More V4s, which I wasn't the biggest fan of because they were so compressive that wasn't comfortable for me. And I've also tried the Gel Nimbus 25, which I actually liked a lot when I was starting off. It has a good balance of the soft but firm foam. It just kind of lacked the bounce that I really wanted in some of the runs. So that's why I decided to get a more personalized Max cushion trainer instead. Don't get me wrong though, these are excellent shoes and probably my budget alternative to the Glycerin Max. But I just knew when I first put these on, these were going to be for me. I appreciate the stability that the shoe has and the perfect kind of compression and the very, very luxurious feeling upper. During short, easy runs about 4 or 5 miles, these are my go-to because that's exactly how I wanted to feel. Just easy and just put them on and forget about it. But during the long runs, I do notice that the weight of these do bring me down. I start to feel my feet start to fatigue a little bit and really pull me down when I'm going into the further miles, like mile 10 or mile 12. So that's when I start to feel my feet getting really, really tired. And I think that's because of the weight of this shoe, which is why I don't personally reach for these for some of my longer runs. I do require some interval work or some marathon pacing for a long period of time. If it's just a long run that's easy and I don't have to worry about my pace at all, then these are amazing. But if I do have to pick up the speed and keep it consistent, I start to notice the weight of these significantly compared to my more precise long run shoes like my Superblast 2s. Of course, there are a couple of things I didn't like about these shoes, and I've already kind of mentioned them already. Don't get me wrong, these have a great midsole. They're very, very comfortable. I'm a big fan of these, and I really hope they continue to bring this DNA tune to the other shoes. I think they've already have it on the Glycerin 22s. The outsole is amazing. It's very grippy. It's the best outsole I've tested, and I feel comfortable when I'm running in the wet weather. I'm just not a fan of how heavy these shoes are. I guess some shoes are really heavy, don't get me wrong, but these shoes are noticeably heavy. And as a new runner, just having a heavy shoe just for easy day or easy run or easy pace day, I just don't know if that's something that I would want to really spend my money on, especially at $200. It's a lot to ask for a shoe that's only really good at one thing, which is a slow, easy pace. And that's kind of the thing with some of the other Max cushion shoes as well. They are all around the same price. I think the Mag Max from Puma is around the same price. The Prime X2 Strong is a little bit more expensive than that. The Glycerine Max is around the same price, as well as the Hoka Skyward. They are great shoes for easy runs. I just don't know if I can spend that kind of money and justify that kind of money where you'll be only using them for one kind of run. That's why if you're a new runner and you're just starting off, these might be just a little too bulky for any other type of run you do besides easy, like interval work or speed work. All right, time to finally answer the main question. Would I recommend these for my fellow slow, heavy, and beginner runners? Yes and no. That's mainly dependent on where you are on your journey. Is it a great shoe for a brand new runner looking for their first starting shoe? Absolutely not. Is it a great second shoe I would get if I was starting off? Again, for the price and the use case, probably not. But if you're someone like me who was looking for a good, fun, easy shoe for my recovery paces, for the easy paces, and it has no compromise whatsoever, I say go for it. I would imagine many of us would be fine if we didn't have Max cushion shoes. They are great, but they're also a luxury. If I was starting off, I'd rather put my money towards the daily trainers or a long run shoe that you can use for racing when you are just starting off. And then you can add these later down the line. What are some alternatives to these? These are classified as max cushion trainers, but there's also another category of shoes that help with easier runs but without the cost. And those are your daily cushion trainers like the Asics Gel Nimbus or the 1080 V14s or even the new Nike Vomero 18s. They aren't quite cushioned like max trainers, but they do still have plenty of foam for that protective feel for the easy paces. But the good thing about them is that they're also a little bit more versatile. A cheap alternative that I would recommend are the Gel Nimbus 25, which I got these for about 90 bucks. They're up to 27s now, and I haven't tried them out, but these were great for the easy runs, and they have the right amount of foam, similar to these. Just don't expect to pick up the pace significantly in these again because there wasn't a lot of bounce in this. But for easy paces, you can't go wrong with the gel nimbuses. Another alternative that I don't currently have right now and I do plan on picking up soon is the Puma Mag Max. Reviewers and some of you in our community have said that they are a great alternative to these while providing better performance for a long run. And they're also $20 cheaper, so they're definitely on my list to try out. Alright guys, well there you have it, my review of the Brooks Glycerin Max. A great max cushion shoe that is a great luxury, but not a necessity for runners like us. Let me know in the comments below if you've tried them out and what did you think. Don't forget to subscribe while you're down there and hit that like button so we can really share these kind of videos to other runners like ourselves. And as always, I appreciate you all following along on my journey and my channel. My next shoe review will be a comparison between the two best daily trainers on the market that I've tested. And you guys will be surprised to find out which one I like the best. Until then, stay safe out there, guys. Happy running, and I'll see you guys later. Understand it, 'cause I've been sharpening my blade. I'm here to